Welcome to yet another episode of Law Unplugged. In this episode, we have a brother and buddy of ours joining us all the way from the United Kingdom. Yes, we have with us Ben Kinnear. Ben is currently pursuing his undergraduate course in political science and history from the University of Birmingham and has started this beautiful venture known as Connected Through Law. What Connected Through Law primarily does is that it connects lawyers from across the globe and helps lawyers network in this big world. Now, in this episode, what we talk about is the journey of Ben at the University of Birmingham, how he endeavored to start the venture of his known as Connected Through Law, the perpetual love that both the countries share for cricket, and finally, there's a lot of candid conversation and a lot of fun waiting for you. So please watch till the end. And if you like this episode, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and feel free to reach out to us for any suggestions or recommendations.
Hello, welcome to LawUnplugged. Today with us we have a very special guest. We have Ben Kinnear, who's currently a first year student in the University of Birmingham, currently pursuing his BA degree. Even if he's studying political science and history now, he's inclined towards the law. That is why he founded Connected Through Law, a blog. Yeah. So without any further ado, let's just jump right into it. So Ben, so happy to have you. How are you, Ben?
Thank you very much for having me. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm very well over here in England. And how are you?
We are just as good. So
Good.
Honored to have you here. Okay, so
Thank you.
Yeah, Ben, I really want to know this about you. How is it there in the University of Birmingham there?
Yeah.
Just sorry to interrupt, but will you just explain, what is a typical day in your university, the method of teaching there, and that.
Yeah, sure. So through my course, I'm taught primarily by lectures and then seminars. So I take 4 modules per semester. And for each module, we'll have 1 lecture and one seminar for that module. And this could be on a range of different topics. So this year I studied the Industrial Revolution, feminism in both history and politics. A typical day, it depends. It could be at 9 a.m., which is horrible. But then, so 9 a.m., I typically only have 1 or 2 hours per day because my course isn't that teaching heavy. It's mostly independent study. So let's say at 9 a.m. and then probably head back to my room for a few hours or go to the library to then have another lecture a few hours later. And then I'm typically done for the day around lunchtime. So then if I have work, I will do that work. If not, I'll just relax. I play sport a lot, so I'll play sport, and then if it's a weekend, we might go out on a Saturday or Friday or Saturday every few weeks. So yeah.
Which sports do you play?
Cricket, big cricket fan, love cricket. I've played it all my life. Yeah. Support the Chennai Super Kings in the IPL.
Oh, great.
Back there.
Good to know that.
And cricket, football, I play pretty much any sport. Any sport with friends I'll play, but I play football and cricket seriously.
Yeah. I guess when, we are rivals here because I support the Mumbai Indians and, CS, Chennai Super Kings and Mumbai Indians, there is always a tough face-off. So, I guess, there are many things to be talked about cricket, once the subject, once we start talking about cricket, it never really ends. But
Yeah. Right. Go ahead.
No. I was just going to talk about cricket, but I guess we probably can't do that. So.
Oh no, man. Go ahead, man. We all love cricket in India.
Yeah, I think just a lot of English players seem to go to Chennai, and then Dhoni being there as well, Suresh Raina, and they won it a few years ago, obviously. But to be honest, the IPL is the best league to watch. The quality is unbelievable every single season, and it's just a shame it didn't happen this season. Do you support an English team, either of you?
Yeah. Actually, English players, make a very big impact, in the IPL as well. In Mumbai, we had a player called Josh Butler. I mean, because of him,
Yeah.
he contributed, towards our victory in 2017. But I mean, I didn't know why, but we released Josh Butler. Now he's currently playing for the Rajasthan Royals there. And talking about
Yeah.
football also, see, earlier, Manchester was my favorite, but now it is uh, Barcelona now.
Yeah, fair enough. I support Chelsea, so
Chelsea.
we'd probably be rivals.
Chelsea.
Yeah, we'd probably be rivals on that front as well. But again, Barcelona, quality team, obviously. Messi, Suarez. Previously had Neymar, but Messi, best player in the world, without a doubt. So, understandable you support them.
I am a foreigner to the concept of football and EPL and La Liga, and all the other leagues. So I am
Yeah,
a
yeah.
foreigner. I don't know
Yeah.
shit about it. So, anyways, if
Say
we are
again?
done with the tactic talk,
Fair enough.
so now that we have covered the cricket unplugged, let's move to law unplugged now. And so, as we were talking to you, you told us that you'll be pursuing law after your bachelor's in political science and history is completed. So tell us
Yeah.
what exactly attracted you to the field of law, and
Sure.
because
So,
there's a big difference, right?
yeah. So I think I don't think anyone can say they've always wanted to do law. That's for me personally. I think it's almost like a story. So my dad worked in compliance over here in the UK, so there's always that aspect of kind of doing right. And one of the big things in my life that I want to give back and to help people, but not necessarily in a charity sense. Obviously, this is good, and I definitely will. But on a bigger scale, and I've had an interest in business and economics from doing it at school. So combined with the two, I didn't really want to go into finance, but I've enjoyed, having done some law placements at firms in England, I've kind of enjoyed it. So that's kind of wanted me to push towards doing law in the future. The reason I didn't study it at university was because I think I decided when I was choosing it, I did want to become a lawyer, but I have a real interest in history and then the politics as well, which I'd never studied, but I'd been interested in as a kid. So it kind of made sense to me to study those to then convert, because I'm not sure, but I haven't really found anyone who's really interested in the theoretical side of the law, whereas I'm really interested in the theory of history and political science and political theory behind both. So it kind of made sense to me to do one to then move into the other, when all it is an extra year at university, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. Right.
Yeah. Again, so Ben, moving forward, I really want to ask you that, having an interest in law is a different thing, and really seriously being interested, and starting something like connected through law, is a totally different ballgame. So, how did it come to your mind to start such a thing? And, did you face any challenges marketing that law?
Yeah. So I'd say so right at the start of quarantine, I decided there's a big legal community over here in England, and I guess in India as well, and all around the world. I decided to make my own law account, just not to necessarily post, but just to kind of keep up to date with different people and different law firms, etc. And then I kind of decided that it'd be really good to see if I can impart some advice to younger students or to maybe older students, I don't know. But I realized that I didn't really feel I was in the best position to give advice because I wasn't a law student. I hadn't been through the process as a first year law student, but I kind of had the idea that other people give advice that is really helpful, but it doesn't necessarily get posted or put onto the community. And I kind of decided that I wanted to kind of be the person to do this. Not the person to do this, but provide a platform where people can provide advice through their own legal journeys. That's something that I was always interested in, and I learned a lot from hearing people's journey into law, and that's something that I don't know why, but I just have, and I kind of decided to try and make a platform where I could do this, and so was born Connected Through Law, and I launched that just under 2 months ago, and it's really taken off. I mean, I only envisaged it ever getting maybe 100 followers, but to get on Instagram close to 500 so far, and LinkedIn over 300, I couldn't really ask for more. In terms of marketing it, I'd still say I'm struggling, because not struggling, but I'd still say I don't really know anything, because I've never done any of this before. So it's all of, I guess, a new thing for me. But I've kind of found some strategies that people like and people don't like. And yeah, I mean, I guess I could ask the same question to you. What was the motivation behind starting up the podcast?
We have been, firstly it was Rajesh who came up with that idea that we should start a talk show. Then later we found out that, there are quite a few sites, who ask people to write down, how has their experience been. But they only invite, senior lawyers, right, who have been into the industry 20 years or plus. So, I mean, there was no website whatsoever who actually, face to face interacted with, law students as well as young lawyers. So that is the gap which we found out in the market. So that was the main reason we started.
Yeah.
Also, I would quickly add to that all the products on similar lines available in Indian markets are more of subject centric. Like they are very much focused on like they'll cover a topic which is related to a legal topic. Like they'll discuss on COVID-19's impact on Indian markets and economy, etc. But no one focuses on the fun part of it. Like just two brothers having a conversation, like they're discussing about each and everything related to their life, but nobody does that. So I thought maybe that was an untapped sector. So that is how.
Yeah. I'd say it's quite similar, because from the, when you say the fun part, I guess that's almost what I'm trying to say, in that obviously the big topics that you spoke about are important, but no real aspiring lawyer, I think, really firstly knows year 12, year 13 what that means, but they want to hear like how you can get into law. And I think the only way you can kind of learn is through people's experiences and what's kind of expected. So that's kind of another reason why, just to help people, because I didn't really find I had a lot of help this time last year and throughout first year at university, because I wasn't part of the law school. So if I can help people get advice through other people imparting their own story, then I think that's kind of what I want to do, because it's helping someone where I wasn't able to get help.
Excellent. I mean, that is see, like this is what I have been told by some of my mentors, is that when you go behind, you don't need to be novel each and every time. You just need to find something in the existing system which has not been identified yet. Sure. That is what maybe Connected Through Law is also doing, and so are we at LawUnplugged. So I guess it calls for a high five. True. So again, coming back to your academic career in University of Birmingham. So tell us how is the teaching pedagogy? How is like what's the system of evaluation? The number of hours a class takes place. Tell us everything.
Yeah. So obviously it depends per course. So I can't speak for anyone except history, but history typically in a lecture, history and politics, a lecture will be 50 minutes, either 50 minutes or an hour and 50 minutes, depending on the module. Then a seminar will be 50 minutes, and for each module you'll have 2 lectures and 1 seminar, so 3 hours contact time for that module per week, which will carry forward over the semester. In terms of evaluation, so there are exams. So I was meant to have 4 exams, which thankfully got cancelled. So that's good. And then coursework as well. So a module won't just be evaluated by an exam, it will be evaluated by a piece of coursework and an exam typically. And so an exam could be 2 hours and a piece of coursework could be 2,000 words. And I think that's the same for most humanities subjects and social sciences. But then for the science, obviously, they just have labs. But I don't really know about that. But for history, it's just a few hours a week per module, and then which will be just a lecture, and then the seminar, which is kind of breaking down the lecture, and then just coursework and an exam at the end of it.
I want to ask you that how do you cope up with your stress? I mean, for example, you mentioned earlier that, I mean, in the first year at least it is quite chill. So you take interest in playing sports, cricket and football. So, I mean, apart from that, what do you do and what is that, in sports which you like? For example, we have Hemant, one of our co-founder, he sings very well. And Rajas plays basketball and I play the keyboard and the piano. So yeah, what is it with you?
Sure. I'd say the main thing is playing sport. I think just the physical exertion, the release of endorphins, and just physical exercise is so good for the mind and your mental health and your physical health that for me it works. For some people it might not. That's their situation. And for example, playing the piano or singing or reading, I don't know that works for them. But for me, it's definitely sport or some form of exercise, whether that's just going for a walk, putting some music in, trying to clear your head, think about something else for an hour or two. I think that's really good. And I think you can't work all the time. It's impossible. And I don't agree with anyone that says you can. And I think you do need time off. So at the end of the semester or after a few weeks, I'll definitely take a few days off to kind of reboot, rest and relax, and then go again for another cycle. But for me, I think playing sport is so important, and whether that's some form of, I guess, strength work every day or just going to play football with friends, that just release of endorphins is really good for you. So yeah.
When I first visualized the concept of LawUnplugged, the first thing that I thought was to have like a faithful team, because I completely knew that it wasn't a one-person job. But on the other hand, you are very individualistic in your your approach. So why is it that? Why are there no players in your team?
Sure. So I have been approached by people who have asked, like, can I help out? And my first inclination was always like, yes, eventually. But I kind of wanted to try and build up my own business. And I think it's different when you're doing a podcast. There are so many different areas that I wouldn't really know what to do with YouTube. So, and I think if I was to do something like that, I'd definitely ask people to help me out. But I think I've really enjoyed the process of doing it on my own. So building a website on my own it's been quite challenging to know, I guess, brand awareness, brand marketing, and how to do that successfully. I've really enjoyed that aspect of it. But I think if I'm able to grow more, and to the extent where I can't handle everything, I'm not saying I can't now, because I can, but I definitely like to bring maybe one other person to help me out and do exactly the same thing, but it just take more strain off me. And I think in the future that'd be a really cool thing to do, because you're almost managing someone, which is a really good quality to have. But I had the idea myself, and it wasn't really I didn't really see the need when I'm first doing it now to include someone else. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. Over to you, man.
Yeah. So now this brings us to the next segment, fun part of the interview, the rapid fire round.
Yeah.
So, to move on, Brian, I really want to ask this. Name any one country which you would like to visit, and why?
Name where?
And name one country which you would like to visit for a holiday, and why?
I will say the US, so the America, just US, because one, I have family out there. Two, it just seems I'd like to just go to. Actually, no, not the US. I'd say Australia because it's just. I like not Australia. I'd say, sorry. I'd say Hong Kong again. So I went to Hong Kong a few years ago, and I love the culture up there, the food, just everything. I have friends, and I definitely want to go and do that again.
Anyways, I mean, if you are even if you aren't able to travel to Hong Kong, we would still welcome you to India. So Hong Kong is very near to India. So if
because my mum was born in. My mum has lived in India. Her family travelled when she was young, so she's lived in India, and I'd love to go over there and one, see a cricket match. I think that'd be incredible. But two, spend a few weeks out there. I think it'll be a really big change to what I'm used to, and I'd really like to experience it.
Oh, also adding up to that, if you ever plan to visit to Nagpur in India, National Law University of Nagpur will always be a host. We'd love to be a host.
Of course. I will let you know if I ever come out.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So now, when to move up, tell any 4 qualities which make you a favorite candidate when it comes to law firms.
Sure. I think hardworking. I'm incredibly hardworking. I think good communication skills. Obviously, through my experiences in life, I think I've been able to build that up quite well. Time management, again, for the same reason. I think these are all skills that obviously can be improved, but I think to have a good basis in each is really important. And then I guess analytical and a problem-solving ability. Not to say that I have that, but I think I'm being able to build it up quite well through my experiences in life, and I think that they're really important. But I don't think there's like one skill, or I think it's to have almost a basket of these skills that you can draw upon to be a lawyer.
Okay, so if any law firm is watching this, Ben it is. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. To move forward, Ben, tell us the fun mischief if what you have done in law school. The craziest thing.
The craziest thing. I mean, I'm not really like that, but I'd say probably just like we get on a night out. There probably been a few things that have happened. I'll keep it at that, I think. But I think everyone has, I think, at least once.
No, but any like the quirkiest thing, if not the craziest, like something which which if you recall, you would say that you were out of your mind while you were doing that.
I don't know. I think I'd probably say like dancing. Like it's not us. That's something that's quite quirky for me anyway. Just on the dance floor, that can be quite interesting. But I'm not really. Yeah, I don't know.
The next thing, if you please name any one movie based on the law.
Can't name a movie. Oh, actually, can I name a movie? I can name a TV show. Suits. That's quite a simple one. There is I don't really watch that many films on the law. I can't name a movie on the law.
A book if you may.
The Secret Barrister. That's quite good. I've read some of that. Then The Rule of Law, which is quite theory-based, by Tom Bingham. That's quite good. That's very good, actually. And then I'm reading another one by Richard Susskind, which is kind of on like the future lawyer, which is again quite good, quite technology-based, which I quite like. So yeah.
Yeah, right. And coming back about India, name any 5 cities in India.
Rajkot, Bangalore, Mumbai, Chennai, Rajasthan.
No, Rajasthan is a state.
Oh, Rajasthan State. Oh, Delhi.
Delhi. Oh, you passed the exam.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Oh, one more. Am I go ahead with the tongue twister now? I want to see how.
Twister.
Colombo.
Oh no,
Oh no, Colombo's not in India. Sri
No.
Lanka.
Sri Lanka. Right?
Can I name another?
Nagpur.
the
Nagpur is
place.
one city. Nagpur is one city
Oh
where
yeah,
Rajas is
Nagpur.
living.
Yeah.
Nagpur.
Also-
I wouldn't have
also-
guessed that.
Also Bombay, Mumbai.
Yeah, I said Mumbai.
Oh, did you? Okay.
I'm trying to think of like cricket teams and then just take the first.
Yeah. Okay, so in
CSK,
terms of
CSK.
Chennai,
Yeah.
you have Kolkata Knight Riders.
Yeah, Kolkata. Yeah,
Sunrisers Hyderabad.
Hyderabad. Yeah,
And
I apologize for not getting them.
Rising Pune Super Giants. So Pune is a team. Pune is a city.
Of course. Yeah.
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 Okay, so Rajas, next question is you name any 5 teams in the UK. For example, Sussex is one. Then Essex is one.
Another 5.
Yeah.
Another 5. Surrey, Northants, Hampshire, Middlesex.
No, not to you, Ben. This question was towards Rajas.
Oh, not for me. Oh, my apologies. Well, there are more than that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I can name a few. I don't know if I am right or wrong. Just correct me if I am not. See, there is Kentshire. Is that a team?
Yeah.
Kentshire, then Rossshire, then
Not Rossshire.
Rossshire is
Not
not a team.
Rossshire. No. Oh, Warwickshire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Nothing.
Melbourne, I guess.
Melbourne is in
Marylebone.
Australia.
Australia.
No, Marylebone. Sorry, Marylebone.
Yeah, you're technically right. The MCC, Marylebone Cricket Club.
Marylebone is there. Then Sussex is what I already said, so I won't say them. I would say.
You want any help?
No. Let me try now. Where did Monty Panesar belong to?
Sussex.
Sussex. Okay, then, Sussex is.
You can't just name a random cricketer and ask where he belongs to so that you get one answer. That is not right.
Quite famous, sir. He's quite.
He is. Yeah.
He played for my club
Oh,
in Sussex. So typically cricket players will come. They'll play for like not village, but not county teams, so the rung below that. So Monty Panesar played at the club that I played at for a little bit.
great. Good to know that. I mean, you are close to Indians in every field, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, yaar. I can only see how many did I name? 2, right?
Two or three.
Kentshire, Marylebone. I don't know. I'm not an avid fan of county cricket.
Okay.
Just to add on that, Somerset is one.
Oh, Kentucky. Is Kentucky? No,
Kentucky is in the US.
US, right? Okay.
Then there is another team called Derbyshire.
Yeah, Derbyshire.
Derbyshire is one.
Hold on.
Then, oh shit. One more.
So there are only
Begins
5.
with a Y.
Yorkshire.
Yorkshire.
Yeah.
Yay.
So I guess I didn't fare very badly.
So there are only 5 or 6 teams which play in county cricket.
No, there are quite a few, but they're really obscure names, and I probably can't name them all, to be honest. I'm not sure. Maybe.
Right, and like Indian IPL, you have the Big Bash, right?
Yeah, Big Bash is in Australia.
Oh, okay. So what do you have in?
We have the 100 that's coming next year, which was meant to happen this year, but they postponed it to next year. Then we have the T20 Blast, which not many Indian players play in. It's not really it's like really well known in England. A few international players play in it, but not as many as the IPL or the Big Bash.
And just to add on that, this one, the matches which happened in the US, Sachin and Shane Warne were the captains. That was my
Yeah,
personal
yeah.
favorite. What was that? All Stars Cricket League.
All
Yeah.
stars, yeah, all stars.
That.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we have finished everything now. But I just over to you.
Yeah, I mean, so it's quite fun, quite a lot of fun talking to you. And
Thank
it
you very
was
much.
a big reality check that I don't know shit about cricket. So I will stop calling myself a cricket fan from now onwards. And yeah, I guess it was also very insightful when it came to talking about admissions in the UK universities,
Yeah,
doing your business, how you
yeah,
like, come up with the idea of connected to law.
yeah.
And yeah, I mean it was quite fun.
Thank you very much for having me. I really enjoyed it.